Hi, welcome to Wally Hill's Garage. Today, we're going to install in this 2008 BMW 335xi an idatastart remote car start system. The remote car start system will bypass the immobilizer in the vehicle, no longer requiring you to purchase a BMW key from the dealer. It will be kept in the vehicle to disable the immobilizer. The idatastart system will read the keys right out of the conditional access system that BMW has, and then clone that key and allow it to start the car. So let's get to it.
To do so, you would have to buy an extra key in order to have it put into a box and left inside the car, and then the alarm system would use that to disable your immobilizer. The key from BMW is roughly like $400 US in order to get, because I had just replaced mine very recently. And one of the things you have to do is you have to also pay for programming. It's $150 from the program it to get the comfort access working, which is the proximity sensed unlock. I was able to do that myself because I actually have the BMW software and have people to do that to the vehicle. But in order to put remote start in without buying another key, there's a company it's based here in Kent, Washington called First Tech. First Tech makes the CompuStar line of alarms, but then in Quebec, Canada, they also partner with this company, which I think they own part of, called idatastart. And idatastart will go through, these guys have done a bunch of things for car companies. They go and basically decode the CANBUS signals in your vehicle. So they can do things like unlock your car doors, disable your alarm, open your windows, close your windows, remote start the car, that type of thing. So they do all that kind of research on vehicles. And even like the OEMs like Mercedes and BMW will actually buy their modules to give customers remote start in those kind of vehicles. So the reason I'm putting this in is I no longer have to buy another key and keep in the vehicle to disable the immobilizer. These guys have figured out a way to clone the keys. And it's not difficult in the fact that there's products you can buy out of China that will read into the BMW's key store and pull the keys directly out of the key store. There's a thing called a CAS module, I think it's controlled access service or something. And there's like 10 keys burned into one of the ROMs on there. And then also BMW headquarters has those 10 keys as well, recorded for your VIN number for your car. If you want to build a key, they'll pull one of those 10 keys and then etch it to an actual key fob, and then you'll be able to use it. But if you could read those keys out of there, you can actually then clone the key, or you can actually read the key itself. I think what they do is you read the number. So they have this in module. This is the brain of the product, and they've done it in a modularized way where you can basically build up what you need, so they don't have to have multiple SKUs or different cars. And this iData module, interesting enough, has an expansion port down here that you can plug something in there. But more interestingly enough, ours will be this thing here. We see there's a plug here, and we bought the module specifically for BMW. Is this module right here for idatastart, and notice it has a plug down here. Right down there, that matches a plug here. So you take it, slide it like this, it slides right in. That plug mates with that plug that's inside. So and then now this is ability to start a BMW, specifically a BMW. This thing here will allow you to read the keys out. So I think in order to unlock the CAS, you have to have at least one working key, and that'll unlock the CAS, allowing it to be readable. And so I think the system, once we get it wired in, you put in your original key, it'll read the CAS, clone the key, and then you have to talk to their website and get everything fixed. So this is the module there, and the really interesting thing is, so this is the brain part of the remote start. They have these harnesses. This is their new system. So if you see this thing here, this is like a male and this is like a female. So it's like a T harness. So if you have a BMW connector, you plug in one side and the other, and you basically have tapped the wire without you having to cut anything. This is really interesting. I think it's like ignition wires and whatnot, because they're pretty thick here. But this is a female side, and this is a female side here and a male side here. So there's going to be a plug we're going to undo in the BMW, and we'll plug this in to tap it. As you can see, it's basically at that point a T-tap without you having to cut any wires. So you can restore the car back to the way it was. They actually charge quite a bit of money for these wires. But it makes this particular unit modular, so they only make one and it can work for all different kind of cars. These cables are specific to BMW. The second part of the cable here, as you can see, is the same thing. This is like a female side and a male side, right? So you plug it in, and it's like a T connector, and then that'll allow you to tap and plug this into the module. So this is especially with BMW. These are kind of pricey, these wires. So the last thing is, these will also read, because iData can read out of the CANBUS for all different kind of things. I mean, they're an alarm company, for example. All cars use CANBUS nowadays. It's pretty simple in that respect, that you have to be able to read and decode it. In order for me to be able to use this product with unlimited range, they also have this add-on module called the drone. And this thing's like a couple, roughly $100 dollars. But what this does, it's got a SIM chip in here. And you can buy a subscription. There's a SIM chip in here. So it's LTE. And this thing will give you LTE access to the module to your car. And I think I'm going to buy the subscription. It's like 5 years for I think $357. So I'm going to buy that, where you pay by month. But if you pay by month, it's like a lot more money. So with this, which is interesting, is because that's tied to the CAN bus of the car, it'll read out things like the DTC codes. DTCs are diagnostic trouble codes, and they start with like P0 and P0, 365, 385. I think one of them is, one of those codes is like, I think the fuel injectors, going bad or something. Or I think a spark misfire in one of the cylinders. But this will read that out and send it to my phone. And so I can start the car from anywhere that I have internet access, and this has internet access. So that's kind of interesting. Because of that, I thought I'd try this thing. But this is called the drone. It's another product from First Tech, that company here in Kent, Washington. This will allow that brain to be able to be read online. Which is kind of really interesting. So they also sell remote controls. I'm thinking of buying one of the remote controls. I think it'll go up to like 3 miles, but it's like $400. If I didn't have my phone, I didn't have access, I was in a country, for example, if I was in Mexico, I might need to have that remote control and not my phone, because my phone isn't roaming there. I don't have a data plan there. But I haven't done that yet, so I'm thinking of buying the maybe a shorter distance remote control. Interestingly enough, the original BMW remote control, you press the BMW button 3 times to lock the car, 3 times, it'll then actually remote start the car. So they've actually tapped into that system too, so it can read the signal coming in from your remote control through one of these taps into this brain, intercept that signal and say, hey, that means remote start the car. Unfortunately, the BMW remote control only goes up to like 100 or 200 feet. It's really weak. It's got a really horrible broadcast system. But the remote controls that the alarm companies give, they're super heterodyne. They'll go up to 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet, or 15,000 feet, which is what I think the 3-mile one does, which is possible nowadays with modern electronics. So anyway, I'll try to install it in my car. So we'll see what happens. But this is the kind of equipment. These are the kind of companies you want to work with to make your car, which doesn't have these kind of capabilities, have these kind of capabilities. So just think, if you're able to hook this up to like a voice system, like a Siri or a Google Assistant, and be able to say, hey, Siri, open the windows to 43% in my car, and you have one of these things that can talk to the CAN bus, you're good to go. It's pretty easy to hook up because of these T harnesses, this idea of being able to tap into your car without having to cut any wires and be able to restore it back to where it was if it's a leased car. So if you're interested, I'll have it in my car installed probably by this weekend, and we'll go from there. If you need a remote start system, I recommend you consider these guys. You'd probably want to get an installer. I'm doing it myself, but you could, if you know what you're doing, you probably could do it yourself. And save just a bit of money. I don't recommend it though, unless you really know what you're doing. So anyway, look for the next video. All right, and to get to the CAS, which is it's called the comfort access system, not conditional access system. It's right under here. So it's underneath the dash on the driver's side. There should be 3 torque screws here, here, and here that we can remove, and this panel comes out. Then there'll be a few wires to take out. The CAS will be here. There's an auxiliary wire to the CAS here, and the brake light will be here. And the idatastart will, with its T cables, plug in to the brake cable and tap into the CAS. The CAS will allow it to then remote start the car and clone the key, as well as read signals from the brake pedal. I believe it's hooked into the actual CANBUS of the vehicle, because we can get DTC codes and whatnot afterwards. So let's take this off and we'll look up here and we'll plug in the T cables. Torx 20s, so that's what we're using. So let's plug the speaker, the light, this thing here, and interesting enough, this box back here, if you notice there's a clip here and a clip here, it's best to remove the entire box rather than trying to pull that clip out. It's an antenna of some sort. So anyway, take the two clips out here and take the whole thing out, and the whole thing will then fall out. So now we have access. I don't know if you can see, right? So now if we look down here, we should be able to see the CAS, which I believe is right here. You can see the plug there. But this plug here, oops, right there, looks just like the one on our T cable, and this is the other plug we need to pull out. So to pull this plug out, it's fairly easy. Push in here, pull this, comes right out. You hear the car. I just went online. We'll have to pull this little tab here, squeeze, and it should come right out. That's the other tab. All right, so here's our T cable. This will go into the CAS. This other wire will also go into the CAS. This is the T cable. If you think we're going to unplug it, this goes into the CAS. This goes into continue the cable. So we have a T here. So we tap it without having to cut any wires. And this one here is a T cable for the brake switch. So the brakes switch will go in here for the original place, and then the wire from the brake will come here. So let's try to put this in. I believe if we look up here, find the CAS here. So this is what it looks like. So there's our T cable. That's the original cable into the T splitter, and that's the piece I'm gonna plug back into the CAS. So basically we've wired it, and with this tap, without having to solder any wires. It's the new way of doing things. It's actually really easy. I'm not 100% certain you can see that, but if you look at here, and the cable, that's the T cable, that's the PC cable came in, this is the T junction into the CAS unit here, the comfort access system. So that's where the keys are stored for the immobilizer of your BMW. There's 10 keys in there. You can make 10 fobs. And what this is going to do is going to read off, I think, the active key that I'm going to put into the slot, and it'll basically take that information and clone it. So I don't have to buy a key. Some alarm systems will require you to buy a key and they leave it in the car, and they use it to bypass the immobilizer system. This particular system will read the key right out of the CAS here and then be able to start the car. So yeah, really easy these days with these T cables. No cutting required, no soldering. Okay, and the last cable to put in is this one here, which is the T cable. That'll allow us to get a read from the braking system. So the plug, and there's the brake, if you can see it there, is right back here. You see that plug? That's where we're going to tap into, right there. And then allow the remote start module to read everything from the CANBUS to the brake to really everything in the car. Again, without any kind of soldering. So I'm going to pull that thing out and add that T cable in. Here we go. Okay, so here's the plug. If you can see it. That's right here. So we're going to plug our T cable in, which went in here. And here, that's the brake pedal. So I won't put the hold the camera when we put the T cable in, but that's what we're going to do. Not sure you can see it, but there's the original cable with our T-tap. And I want to put the other end of the key cable into the back of the brake unit here. So here's the plug. Let's can get it in. A little bit difficult doing it really blind. Right, as you can see, you got it in. It's in here. This is the T cable. That's the original cable there. So now we have the brake tapped. So let's start the programming. Okay, so here's the iStart unit. See the green? That's one cable
goes to the CAS. This other cable here, coming out here, that goes to the brake. So we've basically tapped it. As you can see, those 3 cables, we'll just wrap those up and stuff them inside. And now we'll be able to do the programming. So hold on. All right, second part is once we have it plugged in, you see the red light? And we take our fob, we put it into the slot. Okay, when it turns green, like it did there, we take it out, and it should go red. We wait about 5 seconds. Take our fob, put it back in that key slot. And that should go flashing green again. Okay. When it does, take the key fob out, and we're going to take the module and plug it into the computer. So we'll give that a sec, and we'll take you over to the computer, which has the programming cable here, and we'll have to go to the website. So, all right, so the module's ready. It's flashing green rapidly, so we pull the module out of the car. Do that. So take the module over to the web link site. We're going to hit that proceed button once we plug it into this cable. Okay, so here we go. Module is going to go in here too. So the programming goes in there through the cable into the iDataLink site, and we're going to go and set up the cloning of that key that we just read out of the CAS. Okay, module's plugged in. Hit proceed. It says clone in progress. 7 seconds. Do not disconnect the module. So now it's taking the data right out of the CAS and turning it probably into a key. So you don't have to buy a key. Those keys are $400. So there's the flashing. You have to use a very old version of IE or for this website to work. This company's based out of Quebec. Okay, so it says clone, part 2 complete. Disconnect module, follow instruction guides, which means hook it back up to the car. So we're now going to disconnect it, put it back up the car, and see if it'll remote start the car. So right now this has a copy of the key I put in. So it's got a copy of one of the 10 keys out of the comfort access system that BMW uses to disable the immobilizer. So this is really cool. Okay, the module is now reconnected. See, it's solid red. So now we got to put our key back into the key fob holder here. So it's up there. Okay. And then that's that. We can remove this from the holder, and I think it's programming complete. Okay, so if we go 1, 2, 3. That's remote starting. So part of the install, we're going to wrap the 3 wires with Tessa tape before we zip tie it into place. So that's the module. Oh, that's the drone. This thing here, it's an LTE interface, so it gives me unlimited range using my cell phone to start the car. A few zip ties, and there's the magic box, all tied up in there. So you can see it's quite a jumble of wires up there. But yeah, there's lots of room, to be quite frank. So if you want to look, that's why I put the panel back in. You have to hook, there's a hook there. You have to it through. It hooks above the dead man's pedal here. There's a little piece of plastic, and then we go back and we install the torque screws, and we're done. We've run the wire up the side of the A-pillar here to run the drone to give our LTE connection. We're going to probably put it behind the A-pillar plastic here soon, but I'm running out here to put the panel underneath the driver's seat back into the car. So yeah, I think that's it, and I'll show you what Drone Mobile does. From your cell phone, it'll activate that LTE connection and remote start the car and unlock and lock the doors. It actually has Alexa integration too. It's kind of interesting. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So it controls the locks by essentially tapping the CANBUS of the vehicle. So ADS, Automotive Data Solutions out of Quebec, has done a great job of decoding all of the CANBUS signals in mostly every car you can get, including this one here. So that's the box called the drone. We're tucking it inside this A-pillar here. We took off the A-pillar and we glued the first tech box to the A-pillar here, and we'll cover it up with the trim. And hi, welcome to an episode of Wally Ho's Garage. We're here to demonstrate the new CANBUS module that I added to the vehicle, allowing us to control the vehicle and start it remotely. So let's do that. Here we go. Okay, so we have the drone running, and we're going to go to the menus. You can also have lock and unlock, but we're going to hold this, and that'll allow us to start the vehicle. So as you see, it takes roughly 2 seconds, and then the vehicle will start. So here we go. It's pretty cool. We can also lock and unlock the doors. So we can lock the doors here or unlock them. Here we're unlocking them. We can also control the trunk and also panic. So it has full control of the CAN bus of the car when we plug this thing in. It's actually really cool. So let's turn this thing off. Okay, so you can do that anywhere in the world thanks to LTE. We can also control it with the original remote control. So it's this thing right here. Okay, so for this, if we do 3 button presses of the lock, so there you go, it intercepts the signal from the OEM remote control and also will start the car. You can stop the car, I believe, by 3 button presses too. Method that we haven't discussed yet, which is we can use the watch. So if you go to the watch app here, go to drone, which is here. We have remote start, lock unlock. So let's try remote start. So it's sending. Okay, so there's the car. If you can see the D, I'm gonna press the D. So if we hit remote start from our watch, you can notice the car blinked. And it starts because it's elected. Lock unlock also works, and also the trunk works. So it's pretty cool. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you. Bye-bye.